there's a baby crocodile. Just went out of the water. There's so many crocodiles here. Stuck on a reed. I am today 27. It's my 27th birthday today, and I am so lucky. I'm so grateful. I have so many blessings in my life. Hey everyone, I'm Baby Lion. I am currently on a farm in Limpopo province, South Africa. Let's go see what I'm up to this week. So, I am bringing you to some of my favorite spots this week, and once I get to the top, I will tell you more about this Koppie that I am busy climbing, and which I have probably climbed about, I would say, minimum 100 to 200 times in my life. A bit more about this very special place. So this is called a Koppie. A Koppie basically translated is a small rock mountain in my language. And why is it just a favorite is the fact that you can see basically every single corner of our whole farm from up here. Apart from that, the sunsets and the sunrises are just amazing. So as a child and right through my life up until today, I always, when I was stressed, when I wasn't having a good day, or just like when I needed some nature, I always used to come up here. It's super close to my home. Used to come climb up here and just, you know, use the time to think. It's such an, oh, it's an amazing spot. I just love it. I just love it. Being at my childhood home and sharing some of my favorite spots with you, there's something else on my heart. So in India, I came to this realization that I want to find my forever home. Today is my 27th birthday, and it is such a beautiful time in my life where I have the freedom and the ability to choose and to go where I want to and to adventure. And I'm not finished adventuring yet, but I do also have this little goal of mine. By the time I'm 30, I want to have found my forever home. So that is the little, let's call it side project, side adventure. I'll still get a way of naming this, but that is what I'm going to be up to. I need to find my forever home, and now I want to tell you how I am going to go about finding my forever home. So let's find out. Okay, so my next spot is this fence. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so a bit more on this fence. So this fence it was a $2 million fence. It's a state fence, which is the border of South Africa and Zimbabwe. So this is the state of the fence, but that is not what I want to show you today. It's just a bit of a controversial part of this area. Okay, so where am I on my way to? So there is a river separating South Africa and Zimbabwe, and it's right next to our farm. So it's a beautiful place, and why this is awarded one of my favorite spots is just because of, you know, the significance. We have so much ties to Zimbabwe, and you know, this was as part of the farm. This river is so important for water for us, and yeah, as kids we used to do like trips with motorcycles inside of the rivers. There's many crocodiles also inside of this river, so a bit of fishing but not too serious. So yeah, it's just, ooh, there's a sound there. What's that? Okay, so just a lot of significance as to this river, and that is why, oh, there's a baby crocodile just went out of the water. There's so many crocodiles here. Let me see if I can find another one. I just saw a baby crocodile. Okay, so why, yeah, it's just obviously beautiful, a lot of importance, water for irrigation. Separating over there you see Zimbabwe. Over there actually on the other side I see what looks like impala. So yeah, this is just really a beautiful spot. And then also you do have a lot of people from Zimbabwe this is like basically like a trading route. They come over the river, especially like the economic situation in Zimbabwe makes it really hard for people to access food and a lot of stuff, so they just come to South Africa, you know, to just get supplies and whatever. So it's like kind of part of, you know, just the way of living here. So very, very, very big crocodiles in this river. I do not want to stumble across a crocodile. Over there I see some baboons walking. There we have it, the Limpopo River, the border of South Africa and Zimbabwe. One of my favorite spots as part of our farm. Semi in our farm, semi not, but one of my favorite spots. So this brings me to the next part of Annie finding her forever home. I have developed these, let's call it criteria, which I'm gonna be analyzing while I'm in these countries. So in no particular order, it's really like difficult to actually prioritize points that you're making when you're choosing your home, okay? So, but the first thing that I want to discuss today is basically culture. So culture, I have realized it is such a fundamental part of my travel. So tell this to people a lot, but when you often traveling becomes more than just I'm just turning around. I'm like, literally, I don't want to be attacked by a crocodile. So culture is so important when you are a frequent traveler. It just becomes so fundamental, and I just realize this more and more as I travel, and for that reason I have decided to have that be one of the elements that I'm going to be considering when choosing my favorite home. So what I mean with culture is just a big part of it is, you know, just the way, the customs in which the people live, and, you know, are the people friendly and are they welcoming? Like, obviously I am not going to be from the place where I'm going to be forever staying. So is the culture of where I'm going to stay, are they going to be welcoming and accepting of me? So I'm going to be learning the language of wherever I'm staying. I think that is a very important aspect for me, is to actually speak the language if it's going to be another language. And you know, will people be welcoming of me learning the language? Am I going to be comfortable to learn the language? Because that's also a big thing. Some countries, people, like, they would kind of make fun of you while you are trying to learn a language, versus you get other places where people are so proud of you trying to learn a language. So culture is obviously a very broad concept, but that is going to be the first element I'm going to be analyzing while finding my forever home. Alright, so I am on my afternoon run, and this brings me to one of my next favorite spots on the farm. What you see over here is the lands which have been prepared for either watermelon or melon, the new season that is coming up next. And I am now on my way to the tomato crops to tell you about this favorite spot of mine. It might not look like I'm running. I just stop so that I catch my breath so that you can actually hear me. Okay, so next favorite spot are basically all of the fields on the farm. Okay, why is this one of my favorite spots? As a 6-year-old, maybe even earlier, me and my mother ran around these fields every single day, and this is something that I have continued most of my life. So I would say my love for running and physical activity started around this field, and running has such a big role in my life that this definitely affords that top spot. In lockdown, I was staying on the farm, and I ran on average about 120 kilometers per month. So I spend many hours, like everywhere, every single corner of these fields. Sometimes even at night, then my dad would drive with the car behind me. So by far, any field, all of them, top spot. Okay, so I was trying to reach the citrus trees. I'm still in the tomato field, but I won't be able to reach it, so I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so next factor I'm gonna be considering in choosing my home is I want a place where I am either there or in close proximity of places where I can enjoy nature. I love hiking, I love physical activity, but very often, or sometimes when you're staying in a city, it's hard to access that, so you're very dependent on a gym or to travel very far. So I am fortunate enough to have the ability to choose where I'm going to stay. So I want to be either in a city where the flights are super cheap to get to places where there's a lot of hiking spots, or preferably in a city where I can actually just, you know, do a lot of weekend trips and so forth. Apart from that is I love having a healthy lifestyle. So for me that is super important, to be able to eat healthily. So I obviously also love food. So like a small factor is just going to be like, how is the eating culture? So am I able to have, you know, just a good healthy life? It sounds like a weird factor, but a lot of times when you're traveling, like, it's actually hard to get by like food that suits my lifestyle. So that is going to be one of the factors that I'm going to be considering in choosing my dream home. Okay, so the next one, so this is the interesting one, but let me get to my next destination and I will tell you more about what the next element is I'm going to be discussing. So let's get there. I did reach the citrus trees in time, but I've already told you about the next point, so now I shall be enjoying the rest of my run, heading to the place where I will tell you about what is next. Can't wait. Okay, so I'll show you now my equipment. Okay, so I'm gonna be catching tilapia, but I've got a bit of a side story here. Let me show you what I'm up to. Okay, so over here is the worms. Okay, you see there's the worms which we catch, and then this is also like it's some dog food, some pellets that we mush together, and then these ones it's also some pellets throw into the water as like bait. Throwing some pellets into the water as bait. Okay, so worms. Alright, here is the fishing rod. Okay, so now I need to take it's a bit of a mission trying to film this. Okay, so now I'm gonna get onto this little island of my dad, and so just as a side note, it's not fishing time of the year, so chances of me catching something is very slim, but the point of this whole exercise is to tell you more about one of my favorite spots. So I'm gonna quickly set myself up here. I feel like I have an excuse, like I've never liked putting the worm on the rod. My dad is crazy about fishing, and this is also this location is like this is irrigation dam, but we have some dams right across the farm, and like my whole life I've been catching fish with my dad. It's kind of like one of those things where he enjoys it so much, and it's such a nice way of spending time with him. And he's, you know, I just feel sometimes if you spend time with a loved one in a place where they feel comfortable and where they're happy, it's kind of like their energy and their happiness kind of like washes onto you. So I always used to tell my dad, I think, you know, I just enjoy fishing because of the amount of you know, happiness I can see he gets from it. So yeah, I think that is why this spot affords one of my top places on the farm, is just because of how big part fishing is of my childhood. And yeah, it's so peaceful. I mean, this view, it's amazing. And yeah, it's a very, very peaceful thing. And that also brings me to what I want to talk about next. So this is quite an interesting one. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a part 2, and in the part 2 I will discuss the next part of you know, this adventure of mine of Annie finding home. That is all from Annie from this episode. Please stay tuned. Like, next video I will be trying to catch a fish firstly, and then secondly telling you more about what is the next element I'm going to be considering on this world journey of mine. Thanks for watching. Love you all.